Two dads, one rich, one poor. Both shaped a young boy's view of money, but in completely opposite ways. One said, go to school, get good grades, and find a secure job. The other said, learn how money works, build assets, and make money work for you. That boy was Robert Kiyosaki, and the lessons he learned changed everything. What if everything you were taught about money was wrong? What if the beliefs you grew up with were the very things keeping you from building wealth? This is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's not just a book about money. It's a story about mindset, a challenge to everything we think we know about work, success, and financial freedom. Welcome to Prose Pursuit. If you're new here, this is where powerful books come alive. We break down life-changing ideas into simple stories with real-life lessons. You're driving, working, or winding down for bed, we've got you covered. In this video, we'll walk through every chapter of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You'll learn how the rich think differently, what schools never teach us about money, and how you can apply these lessons today, even if you're starting from zero. So let's begin. This isn't just a summary. This is the start of your financial awakening. Chapter 1. The Rich Don't Work for Money. Robert Kiyosaki was just a kid when he asked his rich dad how to get rich. And the answer surprised him. Rich Dad didn't say work harder or get another job. Instead, he said, the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. Let's break that down. Most people think the only way to get money is to work a job. You do the work, you get paid. You stop working, the money stops coming. That's how Poor Dad saw things. He was smart, educated, and had a steady job. But no matter how hard he worked, he always worried about money. Rich Dad thought differently. He believed you shouldn't spend your whole life working just to earn a paycheck. Instead, you should learn how money works so you can earn even while you sleep. It's like this. Imagine two kids selling lemonade. The first kid sets up one stand and works all day to make a few dollars. The second kid builds a stand, teaches two friends how to run it, then builds more stands in other neighborhoods. He still makes money even when he's not there. That second kid is thinking like Rich Dad. He's not trading his time for money. He's building a system that works for him. This chapter teaches us to stop saying, I can't afford it, and start asking, how can I afford it? One closes your brain. The other opens it up and helps you think creatively. Real-life example? Think about someone who buys a vending machine. They place it in a busy office. Every snack that gets sold makes money, even if they're at home watching a movie. That's money working for you? So how can this help you in real life? Start small. Think about how you can earn without always having to show up. Maybe it's selling art online, renting out your old bike, or starting a tiny business with your friends. The goal isn't to be rich overnight. It's to stop relying only on a job and start learning how to build income that works for you. Because the earlier you understand this, the faster you'll break free from the cycle of working just to survive. Lesson from Chapter 1? Don't just work for money. Learn how to make money work for you. Chapter 2. Why teach financial literacy? Rich Dad said something important in this chapter. He said, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Sounds simple, right? But most people don't follow it. Poor Dad made good money from his job, but he spent most of it on bills, loans, and stuff he didn't really need. By the end of the month, there was nothing left. Rich Dad, on the other hand, focused on buying things that made him more money. So what's the big lesson here? Learn the difference between an asset and a liability. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Let's make that super simple. A video game you buy and play for a while and never use again. That's a liability. A lemonade stand you run every weekend that earns money. That's an asset. Here's a real-life example. Let's say you buy a bicycle and use it to start a small delivery service in your neighborhood. That bike becomes an asset because it helps you earn money. But if you buy the bike, ride it once, and it just collects dust, it becomes a liability. Rich people spend their money on assets. Poor and middle-class people often spend money on liabilities, thinking they're assets. For example, buying a big house might feel like a smart move, but if it just eats up money through repairs, taxes, and loans, it could be a liability. This chapter is all about financial literacy, which means learning how money works. It doesn't matter if you're great at math or not. What matters is knowing what to do with the money you earn. Schools usually teach you how to work for money, but they don't teach how to make money work for you. So how can this help you in real life? Start by asking yourself this. Is what I'm buying going to help me make more money? Or will it just cost me more later? That simple question can change your future. Lesson from Chapter 2? Don't just focus on earning more. Focus on keeping more and using it to buy things that grow your money. Chapter 3. Mind your own business. In this chapter, Robert Kiyosaki shares something that might surprise you. He says, the rich focus on building their assets. Everyone else focuses on income and jobs. So what does that mean? Most people think the way to get rich is by getting a high-paying job. And yes, jobs are important. But Rich Dad taught Robert something deeper, something smarter. He said, don't just work for someone else your whole life. Start building something of your own on the side. Mind your own business. Now wait, he didn't mean go start a huge company right away. He meant this. While you're working at your job, start creating or collecting assets that can one day give you freedom. Here's an example. Let's say you work at a grocery store. That's your job. But in your free time, you start a small online store selling handmade bracelets. You use the money from your job to buy beads and tools. Soon, the bracelet business starts to grow. That's minding your own business. Or maybe you use your savings to buy a vending machine. You place it in a busy area, stock it weekly, and it starts making money while you're at work or school. That's your business working for you. The key is to start small and think long-term. Poor Dad believed in working hard for a paycheck and climbing the career ladder. Rich Dad believed in working hard to buy assets that could one day replace the paycheck. So how can this help you right now? Look at your hobbies and interests. Could you sell something? Could you learn a skill that people would pay for? Could you start a small project that earns even a little bit of extra cash? The goal isn't to quit your job. The goal is to stop depending only on your job. The big lesson in this chapter? Your boss's business puts food on their table. Start building something that one day can put food on yours. Chapter 4. The history of taxes and the power of corporations. This chapter might sound boring at first, but stick with me. It's actually one of the biggest eye-openers in the whole book. Robert learned something shocking from his rich dad. The rich don't just make more money, they also keep more money because they understand how taxes work. Now here's the twist. Most people think taxes are there to help everyone and that they're fair. But Rich Dad explained that the tax system was originally created to tax the rich. Over time, though, the rich figured out how to protect themselves. And now, middle class and poor people often end up paying more of their income in taxes than the wealthy. How? Corporations. Rich people often don't earn money the same way most people do. Regular folks get a paycheck, pay taxes on it, and then live on what's left. But the rich? They earn through a business, spend the money they need for expenses like travel or equipment, and pay taxes last only on what's left over. Let's say you earn $100. If you're an employee, the government might take $30 first. You're left with $70. But if you own a business, you might spend $60 on things like supplies, gas, or tools. Here's a real-life example. Imagine someone starts a small food delivery business. They earn money, use some of it for gas, packaging, and marketing, and then pay taxes. That's using a corporation to your advantage. Now, you don't need to go start a corporation today, but learning how money works, even this early, gives you a huge head start. Rich Dad told Robert, the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them, and they protect it. So what can you do right now? Start paying attention to how taxes affect your money. Learn about side businesses. Watch how business owners handle expenses. And most importantly, keep asking questions. Because once you understand the game, you can stop playing by the rules that keep you stuck. Chapter 5. The Rich Invent Money. Now this chapter is where things start to get exciting. Robert's rich dad taught him something powerful. He said, money isn't real. It's an idea. At first, that sounds strange, right? But here's what he meant. Most people wait for opportunities. The rich, they create them. Think of it like this. Poor dad believed in working hard, saving money, and avoiding risks. Rich dad believed in working smart, spotting opportunities, and taking calculated risks. The difference? One mindset waits. The other creates. Here's a real example. Let's say two friends both have $1,000. One puts it in a savings account and earns maybe 1% interest a year. The other uses that money to buy and resell used bikes online. After some effort, they make $300 in profit. One let their money sit. The other made their money move. That's what Rich Dad meant by inventing money. Robert tells a story about how he once found a small piece of real estate that others overlooked. It was messy and ignored. But he saw potential. He bought it cheap, fixed it up, and sold it for a much higher price. That's creating value out of nothing. That's inventing money. The lesson? Opportunities are everywhere, but you have to train your mind to see them. You don't need a fancy degree or a lot of cash to get started. You need creativity, courage, and the willingness to learn. So what can you do today? Start small. Look around for problems you can solve. Can you resell items online? Can you offer a service in your neighborhood? Can you learn about real estate or stocks little by little? Most people say, I can't afford it. Rich Dad taught Robert to ask, how can I afford it? That simple shift in thinking opens doors. Because in the end, the rich don't just earn money. They invent it. Chapter 6. Work to learn, don't work for money. This chapter flips the idea of a job on its head. Robert's poor dad always said, go to school, get good grades, and find a stable job. But his rich dad had a different view. He believed that instead of working just for a paycheck, you should work to gain skills. Let's break that down. Most people choose jobs based on salary. They ask, how much does it pay? But the rich ask, what can I learn from this? Robert shares how early in his life, he took jobs that didn't pay well. But he wasn't chasing the money. He wanted to learn how businesses worked, how to sell, how to market, how to communicate. All those skills added up over time, and they became more valuable than any paycheck. Let's say you want to start a business someday. You could work at a local shop and learn how inventory is managed, how customers are treated, how sales are made. Even if the pay is small, the lessons are big. Or let's say you want to build a brand online. You could volunteer for a small business, help with their social media, and watch how content works. That experience could launch your own success later. Here's a story. A young woman wanted to become an entrepreneur. She was offered a job at a big company with a good salary. But instead, she took a low-paying position at a startup. Why? Because at the startup, she'd wear many hats, learn fast, and see how a business is really built. 5 years later, she launched her own company, and it succeeded. Rich Dad said, you're building your toolbox. Every skill you learn is a tool. The more tools you have, the more problems you can solve. And people who solve problems, they get paid well. The lesson here? Don't just work for money. Work to learn. Take jobs that teach you new things. Step outside your comfort zone. Learn to sell, to lead, to think creatively. Those are the skills that make you unstoppable. Because in the real world, the more you learn, the more you earn. Chapter 7. Overcoming obstacles. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. Build assets, think differently about money, learn new skills. But if that's the case, why don't more people become rich? This chapter gives us the answer. Even with knowledge, most people are held back by 5 big things: fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. Let's break them down. First obstacle, fear. Fear of losing money. Fear of taking risks. Most people are so afraid of failing that they never even try. But Robert says the rich also lose money. They just don't let fear stop them from learning and trying again. Think about it. A child falls many times before learning to walk, but they don't give up. Adults forget that. They let fear control them. The lesson? Don't avoid mistakes. Learn from them. Second obstacle, cynicism. That little voice that says, it won't work. It's too risky. The economy's bad. What if you fail? And it gets louder when people around you feed the doubt. Rich Dad taught Robert to do research, not rumors. Don't listen to people who have opinions but no results. Instead, listen to those who have done it. Third is laziness. Not the kind where you sleep all day. It's the kind where you're so busy with work or distractions that you ignore the things that matter, like building your financial future. One example Robert gives is someone who says, I don't have time to learn about investing. But that person watches TV for hours every night. The fix? Ask yourself, what's in it for me? That question can spark action. Fourth, bad habits, like spending before saving. Robert says, pay yourself first. That means save money before paying bills. It sounds scary, but it forces you to think smarter about money. If you always pay others first, you'll never keep any for yourself. Last, arrogance. This is thinking you know everything already. Rich Dad said, what I don't know makes me lose money. The solution is simple. Stay curious. Ask questions. Read. Learn. Always. So what can we do with all of this? Start small. Face fear by taking a tiny risk. Question your doubts. Make time to learn. Save before you spend. Stay humble and curious. Because building wealth isn't just about what you know. It's about what you do when obstacles show up. And they will. Chapter 8. Getting started. So, you've learned the mindset of the rich, the lessons about assets, the lies we're taught in school, and the big obstacles that hold most people back. Now, the question is, how do you actually start building wealth? Robert Kiyosaki gives us a simple truth here. Getting rich is like getting fit. You don't do it all at once. You do it step by step. You build your money muscles over time. Here are the action steps from this chapter. Step 1, find a strong reason. This is your why. Why do you want to be financially free? Maybe you want more time with your family. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you just want to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Whatever it is, it needs to be strong enough to keep you going when it gets hard. Step 2, feed your brain. Start reading. Listen to podcasts. Watch videos like this one. Hang around people who talk about building wealth, not just spending money. Rich Dad said, your mind is your greatest asset. Train it well. Step 3, choose your mentors. Look for people who've done what you want to do. Learn from them. Follow their advice. If you don't have anyone around you like that, start with books or online communities. Step 4, take baby steps. You don't need to buy a house or start a business tomorrow. You can begin by saving a small amount, or tracking your spending, or learning one new money skill this week. Robert says, start buying a few shares of stock, or take a class. Just start. Step 5, pay yourself first. You heard this before, but it matters here too. Even if it's only a small amount, save it first. It builds discipline. It builds confidence. And it teaches you to put your future ahead of your present. Step 6, pay for education, not just entertainment. Instead of buying a new phone or watching TV, use that money or time to learn a skill. Read about real estate. Study the stock market. Take a course on how to budget. That investment will pay you back for years. And last, take action. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel ready. Nobody feels ready when they're just starting out. Take that first small step today. Because once you start, the fear fades and the momentum builds. The truth is, anyone can become financially free. But you have to take the first step, then the next, then the next. So, what's one thing you can do today to get started? Chapter 9. Still want more? Here are some to those. This final chapter is like Robert Kiyosaki's personal checklist for anyone who's serious about changing their financial future. It's filled with practical steps you can take right now to start moving toward wealth. Let's walk through them together, like we're just having a real talk. Number 1, stop what you're doing. Sounds funny, right? But it makes sense. Before you keep running in circles, stop and think. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing working? If your current way of handling money isn't helping you build wealth, it's time to try something new. Number 2, look for new ideas. Kiyosaki says rich people are always learning, always looking for new ways to solve problems. Want to start a side hustle? Learn how others are doing it. Want to invest in real estate? Start studying how it works. The more you learn, the more you earn. Number 3, take action. Knowledge means nothing without action. Let's say you read 10 books about investing, but never invest. That's like reading cookbooks and never making a meal. Start small. Try a low-risk investment. Or start tracking your income and expenses this week. Number 4, find someone who's done it. Kiyosaki believes in learning from people who are already where you want to be. Find a mentor, or at least follow someone online who talks about money in a way that makes sense to you. Learn from their wins and their mistakes. Number 5, make lots of offers. This one's about putting yourself out there. If you want to buy property, make offers. If you want clients, send proposals. Not every offer will be accepted, but action creates opportunity. Number 6, think big. Robert's rich dad taught him that most people think too small. They aim low so they won't fail. But if you aim higher, even your failures will take you farther than most people's goals. Number 7, learn from history. Money trends repeat. Markets go up and down. Learn from what happened before so you can be smart in the future. Look at past crashes, recoveries, and success stories. Number 8, take classes, read books, attend seminars. Education doesn't stop after school. The rich stay students forever. And guess what? With free YouTube videos, affordable courses, and public libraries, there's no excuse. And number 9, make money work for you. Don't just trade your time for money. Build systems, invest in assets, create something once that pays you over and over. That's what real wealth is about. Not working harder, but smarter. This chapter wraps it all up. It tells you that building wealth isn't a secret or a talent. It's a mindset, and more importantly, a habit. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to be curious, consistent, and courageous. And if you're ready for more books that can help you level up, we've got a full playlist for that. So there you have it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't just a book about money. It's a wake-up call. It teaches us that the real difference between rich and poor isn't luck or income. It's mindset, education, and how you handle money. You learn that assets put money in your pocket and liabilities take it out. You discover why financial education is more powerful than a high salary. You saw how fear and comfort can keep people stuck in the rat race. And you picked up real steps you can take to start changing your future today. Now it's your turn. Start small. Learn more. Take action. And remember, money should work for you, not the other way around. If you enjoyed this video, there's more waiting for you. Check out our Power Books playlist to binge watch or listen to more life-changing books while you drive, work out, or wind down before bed. And if you're short on time, we've got you covered. Explore our 1-minute Power Books playlist for quick book reviews that give you key lessons in under 100 seconds. Want to keep up with the journey? Subscribe to Prose Pursuit. You could also follow us on Facebook and TikTok for daily wisdom, bite-sized takeaways, and behind-the-scenes updates. Thank you for watching Prose Pursuit. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts or suggestions, and subscribe. Who knows? Your next big breakthrough could be just one book away. What do you think? Let's chat about it.